Hello students. Now we are going to continue our lesson, that is Mrs. Addis, and it is the last part or last passage of this lesson, which is on page number 50. Okay. In last period we discussed that Mrs. Addis come to know that her son Tom was dead, and Peter Crouch was responsible for that, and she was very struggling to her feet and stand by the tables, looking down on the dead man's face. Then she put her hands into the pocket apron pocket, where she had thrust the key of the shed. Okay. There was a silence everywhere, and breaking this silence, Widler nervously said, "The Brumans have gone after Crouch," said Widler, nervously breaking the silence. There was a silence, and when Widler told her nervously, the silence was break. He told nervously that Brumans had gone in search of Crouch. Okay, they had broken through the wood, iron latch way. Okay, he thought that he said that they thought that it may be possible that Crouch had broken through the iron latch way, and there is no chance of his having been by here. Okay, it means it was possible that Crouch was not there, and he was crossing the wood iron latch way, and he again asked Mrs. Addis that, "You haven't seen him tonight, ma'am?" He again asked that she had not seen him that night. Okay, and there was a pause. Okay, there was again a pause. "No," said Mrs. Addis, "I haven't seen him, not since Tuesday." Mrs. Addis answered him that she hadn't seen him not since from Tuesday. She took her hand out of her apron's pocket. Okay, when Widler asked her and informed her about Peter Crouch, sorry, yes, Peter Crouch. Then she put her hand into the pocket of her apron. But when he asked that, "Did you haven't seen him tonight, ma'am?" Then she answered him as no, and she hadn't seen him not since Tuesday, and she took her hand out of her apron's pocket. Okay, समझ में आया ना कि जब वो वहाँ पे लड़खड़ाती हुई बैठी उसके बेटे के पास, डेड बेटे के पास, तो उसने अपने पॉकेट में, सॉरी, एप्रॉन के पॉकेट में हाथ डाल के चाबियां निकालने के लिए शायद उसने हाथ डाला था। लेकिन जब विडलर ने उसे बोला कि सब गए हैं पीटर क्रॉच को ढूंढने के लिए, जो आयरन लैच का जो जंगल है उसने क्रॉस किया होगा, आपने तो उसे नहीं देखा होगा। तो उसने आंसर किया कि नहीं, मैंने ट्यूसडे से उसे नहीं देखा, और ऐसे कहते समय उसने अपने पॉकेट से हाथ निकाल लिए। ओके, well, we will be getting around and fetch Mrs. Gain. Reckon you had be glad to have her here. Okay, he मतलब Widler said that they would be getting around and fetch Mrs. Gain. And when Mrs. Gain came there, he believed that she had be glad to have there. Okay, Mrs. Addis nodded. Will you carry him in there first?" And she pointed to the bedroom door. "Okay, will you carry him, uh, Tom's dead body?" Okay, he asked that person he would carry Tom's dead body in there first, and she pointed toward the bedroom door. The man picked up the stretcher and carried it into the next room. Then silently each wrung the mother's by the hand and went away. Wrung, it means held the hand tightly and shook it with sympathy. Okay, then they held her hand tightly and shook it with sympathy, the mother's by the hand, and went away. Okay, she waited until they had shut the door. Then she came toward the shed, crouched once more, fell a shivering. Shivering. It means shook with frightened. Okay, he was very now he was very frightened. Now he was very frightened, and he thought that it may be possible कि मिसेस एडिस अब उसे नहीं छोड़ेगी, या उसे कोई पनिशमेंट करेगी, या फिर उसे वहाँ से पकड़वा देगी. Shaking slightly and due to frightened. Okay, that's why he become shivering. He couldn't bear it. Here, gaze the meaning rug. You have to write the meaning. Held the hand tightly and shook it with sympathy. Okay, and find the difference between shivering and trembling. Trembling और shivering में क्या फर्क है? तो both are pretty similar. Okay, but there is a bit a difference. Shivering is a kind of shaking you do when you feeling cold. Okay, and trembling is kind of shaking you do when you are afraid or anxious about something. And trembling can be used for not for non-living things, and shivering can be only used for living things. Okay, there is a difference. Then she waited until they had shut the door. Then she came toward the shed. Crouch once more fell a shivering. He couldn't bear it. Now he was very frightened, and he was shivering when Mrs. Addis came toward the shed. No, he had rather be hanged than face Mrs. Addis. He thought that it is good for him to hanged him than face Mrs. Addis. He heard the key turn in and lock and nearly screamed, but she did not come in. She merely unlocked the door, then crossed the kitchen with heavy, dragging footsteps and shut herself in the room where Tom was. Okay, when Mrs. Addis went to the door of shed, Peter Crouch was very shivering. He thought that it was good to hang him rather to face her, but she opened the door, she unlocked the door, but do not enter in the shed. And she turned into the room where Tom was there. Okay, तो इसका मतलब क्या हुआ कि उसने जैसे कि जैसे सब चले गए मिसेस एडिस को मिल के, तो जाने के बाद उसने वो डोर लॉक किया, और फिर उसने शेड का जो डोर था उसे अनलॉक करने के लिए वो निकली. वो जब पीटर क्राउची ने देखा तो वो बहुत शिवरिंग होने लगा, उसे बहुत डर लगा. उसे ऐसे लगा कि इससे अच्छा तो मुझे हैंग कर दिया जाए, मतलब लटका दिया जाए. लेकिन क्योंकि वो मिसेस एडिस को फेस नहीं कर सकता था. मिसेस एडिस ने दरवाज़ा तो खोला, अनलॉक किया, पर वो अंदर नहीं आई. उसने सिर्फ दरवाज़ा खोल के दरवाज़ा खोल दिया, अनलॉक करके दरवाज़ा खोला, और वो अपने बेडरूम में चली गई जहाँ पे टॉम की डेड बॉडी रखी थी. Okay, so where Tom was, Peter Crouch knew what he must do. The only things she wanted him to do, the only things he could possibly do, he opened the door and silently went away. Now Peter knew that what he had to do, he must to do, and it was the wish. It was wish of Mrs. Addis also. She wanted him to do, and only thing he could possibly do, he opened the door and silently went out. अब उसे पता था कि उसे क्या करना है. किसे? पीटर क्राउच को. मिसेस एडिस ने दरवाज़ा अनलॉक किया और उसे दरवाजे को खोला, और फिर टॉम को पता था कि उसे क्या करना है. वो बाहर आया और वहाँ से बाहर चला गया. यही वो चाहता था, मतलब वो भी चाहता था और मिसेस एडिस भी चाहती थी. समझ में आया? तो इस तरह से हम समझने वाली बात यह है कि मिसेस एडिस ने पीटर पीटर क्राउच को उन लोगों के हवाले नहीं किया, क्योंकि उसने पीटर क्राउच को एक क्या शब्द दिया था, वादा किया था, और उसी वादे को निभाने के लिए उसने खुद के बेटे के हत्यारे को भी वहां से जाने के लिए मौका दिया, या उसे वहां से जाने दिया। आया समझ में? तो यहाँ पे अपना जो लेसन है, it is completed. Okay. In next period I will send you assignment. You have to assignment on grammar. You have to solve that assignment. Fine. uh, एक यहाँ पे एक one thing is there very important, that Mrs. Addis did not hand over Peter Crouch to keeper, because why? मिसेस एडिस ने क्यों हैंड ओवर नहीं किया होगा मिस पीटर क्राउच को? फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, ही हैड बीन हर सन टॉम्स फ्रेंड, वो टॉम्स का फ्रेंड था। देन शी डिड नॉट वांट टू इवन लुक एट हिम आफ्टर व्हाट ही हैड डन। उसने क्या किया, उसे वो नहीं चाहती थी। सी फेल दैट ही वुड परहैप्स लिव अ बेटर लाइफ समवेयर एल्स। सी फेल्ट she felt that there was nothing that could bring Tom back. तो ये कारण था कि सबसे महत्वपूर्ण कारण ये था कि he had been her son's Tom's friend, and that's why she did not hand over Peter Crouch to the keepers. Okay. तो यहाँ पे अपना लेसन इज ओवर.